everyone, welcome to Telugu One Academy. Friends, today we will be learning what are the major issues faced by the Central Armed Police Forces. Because when you see the mains paper, it is not just the mandate or the static part which you need to concentrate on. One should also be dynamic and also be readily equipped with the various parliamentary committees or various reform commissions which were formed for the basic reforms in the Central Armed Police Forces, so that you give a very good dynamic answer for your questions. So for that purpose, I have included this class, that is issues faced by the various security forces. That is issues faced by the various police forces in India. So especially we will concentrate on the 5 or 6 3 border guarding forces and 3 police forces of India, that is CISF, CRPF and etc. So now I have taken a basic parliamentary document to explain the various problems faced by the police forces in India, especially the Central Armed Police Forces. That is Parliamentary Committee on Central Armed Police Forces and Internal Security Challenges, Evaluation and Response Mechanism. This is the document which was headed by Murali Mohan Joshi. The first issue they have raised is deployment of Central Armed Police Forces. The committee has said the Central Armed Police Forces were used for various other purposes, such as they have been used for the election duties, they are also being used as a UN police forces or UN peacekeeping forces in various countries, and even to secure the diplomatic areas in another countries. So friends, you see, the committee observed that there was a heavy dependence of states on Central Armed Police Forces even for everyday law and order issues, especially in left-wing extremist regions. This is likely to affect anti-insurgency and border guarding operations, beside curtailing the training needs of the forces. So now what happens, you know, and I know, that because of these extra duties, the basic duty of them, that is to fight insurgency and to guard our border, and their training and reskilling and re-improvement of their skills will not be possible. So that's why they founded, and the committee said, the committee recommended the state must deploy their own system and augment their police. Apart from that, the central government should supplement the efforts of the state government by providing enough financial assistance and other help needed for the state for capacity building of their forces. Next, even in the training of Central Armed Police Forces, the committee noted that there is an urgent need in changing the training pattern of whole Central Armed Police Forces. Okay, it said, need to update the curriculum and infrastructure in training institutions of Central Police Forces. It recommended that while purchasing the state-of-the-art equipment, such as signaling equipment or signal intelligence equipment, cyber security related equipment, all these equipments when they buy, they should also keep in view that this equipment comes with a trainer who can train the Central Armed Police Forces with that specialized equipment. If not, the equipment will remain to do nothing, because there are no personnel who can handle such a sophisticated equipment. You see, should ensure that training needs are to be taken care of, and if needed, it may be included in the purchasing agreement itself. Further, it recommended that training should be a mix of conventional matters and latest technology like information technology, cyber security and cyber crime. The next important issue which was raised by the committee was modernization of Central Armed Police Forces. Because you see, the modernization plan 2 from 2012 to 2017 approved by the Cabinet Committee on Security aims at providing financial support to Central and Police Forces, Central Armed Police Forces, for modernizing arms, clothing and equipment. However, the committee observed that the procurement process under the plan was very cumbersome and time-taking. So what did the committee say now? The committee said that the bottlenecks in the procurement should be identified and corrective action should be taken within the low time. Further, the Ministry of Home Affairs and Central Armed Police Forces should hold negotiations with the ordnance factories, private companies, and even the manufacturing public companies, ensure uninterrupted supply of equipment and other infrastructure. Why you need such a high technical infrastructure, my friends? Because border guarding has become so and so sophisticated, and increase in the malaria and other diseases, okay, and the very diverse geographical area of border, it is very necessary to modernize the equipment what we use in our forces. Next, promotion of Central Armed Police Forces. What happens in the Central Armed Police Forces, my friends? All the leaders or all the director generals in the Central Armed Police Forces are taken out or taken from Indian Police Service. Indian Police Service. So what happens because of this? They demoralize the cadre of Central Armed Police Forces who are recruited as assistant commandants from Central Armed Police Force examination, isn't it? You see, the committee observed that top position in Central Police Forces are occupied by IPS officers. This has a demoralizing effect on the officers of Central and Police Forces and impact the effectiveness of these forces. The committee recommended that the top positions must be recruited from that body itself. That is, the DG of BSF should be recruited from BSF person itself rather than taking from an IPS officer. In addition, there is a frustration in Central Armed Police Forces due to stagnation in promotion and lack of cadre review. The promotions are very slow. The committee recommended that cadre review of all the Central Armed Police Forces should be carried out within a definite time. The promotion should be very regular, and because you see there is a much of shuffling in Central Armed Police Forces. That is, some personnel are sent to NDRF, sometimes they are sent for the other left-wing extremist areas, sometimes they are sent for UN peacekeeping. So such a shuffling in Central Armed Police Forces makes the promotion very hard. Okay. Next is housing for the Central Armed Police Force is also a major problem. So what happened, various personnel of Central Armed Police Forces, especially if the border guarding forces, need good housing facilities at their hometown. Okay. So what happened, the Ministry of Home Affairs thought they will be building around like 12 5-year plan. They targeted around like 24,206 houses, and from the whole 24,206 house plans, only 11,884 houses were built. That is, from whole 100%, we were able to achieve only 49% of the houses. So what happened? Even this demoralizes the security personnel who are working in the Central Armed Police Forces or other people who want to join Central Armed Police Forces. So what happened is, the committee has recommended the Ministry of Home Affairs to work in close with the state governments so that they follow up and also speed up the construction of houses for the Central Armed Police Forces by allocation of land in that state. Same thing I have provided here. Friends, each slide what I tell you here, each point what I tell you here, if you are not following with my speed, please note them down from the slide by passing the slide. Next important thing is intelligence gathering. The committee noted that there is a need to improvement in the intelligence gathering mechanism, which should be strengthened and modernized within short and possible time. That it recommended the agencies involved in intelligence gathering should be given autonomy in recruitment of personnel. Further, an effective intelligence gathering mechanism should be deployed with synchronization between agencies and no delay in information sharing. This part is with respect to intelligence agencies and with respect to internal security, the committee has recommended. The next is stress among the personnel. There is a lot of stress because you see, there are times almost 18 hours a day. 18 hours a day, these Central Armed Police Forces are working. And we see high suicide tendency. And we have also seen in news where personnel have been making videos and posting them on Facebook and Instagram, protesting against the authoritarian regime of their officers, which is imposed on the constabulary forces. So this is what happening especially in the Central Armed Police Forces. Because of this, they feel a lot of stress. So to reduce this stress, we have to encourage some initiatives such as practice of yoga, meditation, counseling sessions. We should also even provide some allowances for the people who are placed in very harsh terrains. You see, yoga and meditation. Further, the committee emphasized that the need of accommodation near the deployment of respective force to enable persons to meet their family. Even try to provide accommodation in that area so that they can meet their family and come. Try to provide some signaling facilities so that the border guarding forces can talk to their family. Okay, all these are very, very important. I'll discuss more about the issues. Okay. Next is youth in Jammu and Kashmir. We have seen, especially for the purpose of insurgency, the employment is very important to reduce the insurgency in the Jammu and Kashmir region. Regarding Jammu and Kashmir also, the committee recommended the central government has introduced schemes in increasing the employment of Jammu and Kashmir youth with the schemes such as Himayat and Udan schemes. Okay, Himayat and Udan schemes. And now the committee says it's not just making the schemes but to follow up them and see what are the outcomes from that implementation of schemes so that they can be improved more and more. Okay. Next, even in the left-wing extremist areas, majorly the Central Armed Police Forces who are placed in left-wing extremist areas or red corridor region, that is Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, all those regions, the personnel are majorly killed because of mine blast. What is that? They are killed because of mine blast. What happening here is most of the mines which are planted by these left-wing extremists are very deep under the ground, and without knowingly they are stepping on that mines and they are getting killed. So the committee said you need to work in close with the intelligence and research organizations such as DRDO so that you get the equipment which can detect the mines which are deeply inside the ground. Okay, you see, DRDO technology to counter the threats in the left-wing extremist regions. See, other issues faced by the Central Armed Police Forces. We all know, my friends, the police forces are sometimes devoid or they are not given the basic fundamental rights which are enjoyed by the common people, because it is to maintain the decorum within the police forces. So what happens especially with Central Armed Police Forces is when army has their military tribunal to deal with grievance redressal and all other cases, but Central Armed Police Forces do not have any such judicial force. So frequently they have to come out to reach the ordinary civil and criminal courts where justice takes a long time. And recently, though various Central Armed Police Forces such as ITBP have their own grievance redressal cells, but it is not to the mark that these grievances are not resolved. That's what I have provided. Armed Forces Tribunal do not cover the Central Armed Police Forces. Even Article 33 deters them to approach the civilian judiciary. Even Article 33 is stopping them. You can't go through the civilian judiciary. No stability in terms of duration and posting. No peace posting. That is, today you might be in UN peacekeeping, tomorrow you will go to some international mission, and day after tomorrow you might be even sent to a left-wing extremist region or to a border guarding region. Okay, there are many accompanying services like VIP security, law and order, and election duties. That is, more and more work is placed on them. Till lately, gallantry awards such as Paramveer Chakra, Shaurya Chakra and Kirti Chakra were reserved only for the armed forces. Now recently they are giving, but for long time such a gallantry awards, higher gallantry awards were not given for the Central Armed Police Forces. And government does not accord to them the status of martyr. That is, when they are killed on the duty, one cannot say they are the martyrs as in the case of Army, Navy and Air Force. There is an absence of dedicated grievance redressal system. Example I have said you, the recent BSF Jawan video which has been rolling in the internet. A paramilitary soldier was against the Shaki and Birdie system, where the soldiers were forced to do personal cares of the senior officers of the force, where all the constabulary forces are forced to do duties such as cleaning the houses, bringing the all the homely needs what the officer need. Okay, and what are the other issues with the border guarding forces? Friends, especially with the border guarding force, even for small medical purpose, they need to be shifted to the very large site which is far away from their bordering location. You see, Jawans are overworked and hence fatigued during patrolling duty. As I said you, they work more than 18 hours sometimes. And medical facilities for personnel posted in the border are severely inadequate. They are not enough to hold the border guarding personnel. The personnel had to be transferred to the frontier headquarters even for basic treatment. Disparity in wages and allowances in comparison to army. Okay, army get more wages when compared to these border guarding forces. There is absence of dedicated grievance redressal, as I already told you. Poor working conditions like no housing facility in that border region. Poor food and low allowances adds to the problems. There is no mobile connection, okay, so that people cannot talk to their family frequently. They need to go long way or use satellite phone, which is very costly and mostly used by the officers rather than the constabulary forces. Deficiency of some surveillance equipment like handheld thermal images and which are essential for surveillance during the night. Okay, all these are lacked with the border security forces. So how can you improve these situations? How can one improve these situations? So what are the recommendations given? Okay, the proposal for border guarding forces to raise additional number of battalions be considered on priority basis. That is, try to recruit more and more personnel so that the personnel which are present now are relieved of from the excess of duty and fatigue. Composition of BOPs should be developed with telephone, medical and facility. Telephone and medical facility, that is border outpost should be equipped with all these facilities so that the border guarding forces do not feel they are left out. Hard area allowances, that is when they are posted in a very outpost region or in a left wing extremist area, so they need to be provided some better allowance so that they are motivated to do that job, and they need to also be provided good equipment like good clothing according to the region. We see the border security force region need anti-malarial nets, okay, anti-malarial nets, especially in the region of Bangladesh, because that region is very prone to the malaria mosquitoes. Now friends, we come to a different topic in this issue, that is whether to have women officers, not just women officers, though we have women officers, but to have women officers in combating role or fighting role in the Central Armed Police Forces. Till 2016, my friends, though various Central Armed Police Forces have at different times have said yes, that we will recruit the women into the combat role. The last was Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force, which said yes, I will recruit in the 2015 it said, and it said I will recruit them in the year 2016, and eventually we have got first women's, okay, 2 women's at the cadre of assistant commandant very recently in the month of August 2021, who have been recruited into the Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force. This is the basic statistics which have been provided by the Government of India under Ministry of Home Affairs in PIB, which says how many women officer personnels are there in the total Central Armed Police Forces. One can notice there are only 785 women police or women officers who are gazetted, and most of the other officers are in the cadre of constabulary force, that is 26,000, and most of these are not having combat role. They are only to do basic cures in that border security forces or Central Armed Police Forces. Here you can see 6 Central Armed Police Forces and 1 Assam Rifles. In total you have around 27,167 women. You can see very less percentage when compared to whole whole percentage of men in those border guarding forces or central armed police forces. Especially you see in Assam Rifles, only 4 women officers, only 4 women officers. Because it is necessary, because day to day increase in the women participation in politics, either atrocities against women, either role of women increase in the border areas, it is necessary that there is a need for women officers and women in the combat role in these various central armed police forces. So what happened in 2016, the government of India has brought its improvement or basic amendments into this, and they have given reservation for women, especially in central armed police forces, up to 33%. You see, decided that 33% of the post at constable level for being filled by women in Central Reserve Police Forces and Central Industrial Security Force. To begin with, they have provided around 14 to 15% post at constable level in border guarding forces. That is BSF, ITBP and Sahastra Seema Bal. Efforts were made to promote recruitment of women personnel as given below. What are the various efforts taken over by Government of India to improve the role of women personnel in these police forces? Is recruitment conducted by making wide publicity. They are publicizing it very wide in electronic media so that even women get interested in applying for that job. Even they have reduced the physical standards and basically physical standards and physical efficiency test for women, and facilities already available under central government such as maternity leave, child care leave, and they are also being applied to the central armed police forces. Even creches are also provided, okay. Daycare centers, creches are provided at CAPF facilities. One female member is detailed as a member of board for making recruitment for women. Every board where recruitment is happening, there will be a woman officer in that board for sure. Okay. Even committees have been constituted at all levels to check the sexual harassment and to expeditiously deal with the complaints related to women personnel. Women personnel are given equal opportunities under the Central Armed Police Forces rules so that they get equal promotional levels when compared with men. And also said, of course, some might feel that there will be a separate recruitment process for women. So central government did not say we have no special recruitment drive, especially or exclusively for women. Sometimes we see some of the forces have special drives exclusively for women, such as we see especially in the purpose of state police forces, where sometimes they recruit only women, or sometimes we see recruitment only on the basis of caste. So apart from that, my friends, these are the major issues which are faced by the Central Armed Police Forces. So try to note each and every point. Every point what I have provided you are very authentic. I have taken them from the major recommendations from parliamentary committees and PIB. Each point will fetch you 1 extra mark in your exam. I hope you have understood each and every point what I have explained you here. So thank you for watching our video. This is Nikhil from Telugu One Academy. Thank you.